the mastermind behind a terrifying violent robbery where rare Porsche parts for a car valued at more than £600,000 was stolen, has been jailed after a 4-year international manhunt. Wasim Fazal, 40, from Sheffield, tried to cheat justice by fleeing the country after he was charged over an armed robbery at a specialist car repair business in Water Lane, Holbeck, Leeds, just under 10 years ago. But at Leeds Crown Court this week, he was sentenced to 8 years and 10 months behind bars. Operation Axelford, a Leeds District CID investigation, led to 5 other people being jailed for a total of 55 years in 2019 for their roles in the conspiracy. The armed robbery, which took place in September 2015, was described by Detective Chief Inspector Phil Jackson as a terrifying ordeal for the victim, who had a revolver aimed at his head. DCI Jackson, who led the investigation, said Fazal was the main person behind a carefully planned and orchestrated robbery, which was motivated purely by greed. The garage owner, a specialist in high-value sports cars, had been repairing a red Porsche Carrera GT, then valued between £600,000 and £800,000. At the time of the robbery, Fazal, who he had previously done work for, had taken ownership of some parts for the car in settlement of a debt owed by the previous owner of the Porsche. The 40-year-old and another man, later identified as Owen Walcott, had visited the premises earlier that month to arrange to sell those parts to the car's existing owner. The offer was declined, but during their time at the garage, they became aware of where the other Porsche parts were being stored out of view at the business. 2 men, later identified as Mark Davies and Kite Kennedy, visited the workshop shortly after 3:30 p.m. on September 26, 2015, and asked about the cost of a car repair. They then returned to a white van, which had been hired by Walcott, parked nearby, which was seen on CCTV driving back and forth, waiting for the area to clear of other people. The van proceeded to reverse up to the roller door of the unit, and Davies and Kennedy entered and confronted the victim. One aimed a revolver at his head and threatened him, demanding the red parts. The victim was pushed back onto an office chair, and his hands were bound with cable ties. While the 2 robbers returned to the workshop, the victim tried to escape but was threatened with being shot and was grabbed and forced back into the office. He was pistol whipped about the head, causing injuries, and was struck with a machete, causing a deep laceration to his left side, before being gagged and blindfolded with duct tape and then taped to a chair. Davies and Kennedy then loaded the Porsche Carrera GT parts, worth £140,000, into the van and left the scene. The victim managed to free himself from the chair and raised the alarm with a member of staff at a neighbouring business who contacted the police and ambulance. He needed stitches to the wound to his side and other treatment for the injuries to his head. The van was later recovered in Manchester and found to have been on false plates at the time of the offence. Phone inquiries showed a number linked to Walcott had contacted a Porsche garage in Manchester just days after the robbery. The caller had asked for prices for numerous Porsche Carrera GT parts, and the dealership was able to provide officers with a full list of those due to the type of car being relatively unique. This matched the list of items stolen in the robbery. Walcott's brother, Harry Mahoney, was also linked to the armed robbery. Fazal, Walcott and Mahoney were arrested in December 2015, while Davies, Kennedy and another individual were arrested in September 2016 after incriminating messages were discovered on their phones. All 6 were charged to appear at Leeds magistrates in November 2018, but Walcott and Fazal failed to attend court and went on the run. Walcott was traced to Bulgaria and detained by authorities there in March 2019 before being extradited back to the UK. Fazal had left the UK by Eurostar in November 2016 and had been with Walcott in Bulgaria in 2017. He then moved around between Tunisia, Greece, and Tenerife. The manhunt faced delays during the COVID-19 pandemic, but was reinvigorated in summer 2022, with information suggesting Fazal was in Athens. He was arrested there and brought back to the UK in October 2022. Fazel was due to stand trial in June last year, but entered a guilty plea to the offence of conspiracy to commit robbery. In 2019, the rest of the gang faced justice. Owen Walcott, 13 years Mark Davies, 13 years Kai Kennedy, 12 years, 6 months. Harry Mahoney, 10 years, 9 months. And finally, after his capture, Wasim Fazel was sentenced to 8 years and 10 months behind bars. Thanks for watching SN Studios. Hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe.